What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Chris Raybon, and we're here, week 18. We've been through a whole season. Thank you for sticking with us all year. We're going to talk sides, totals, props, moneyline underdog parlay, touchdown parlay, and of course, we will build our Sunday six-pack of Against the Spread bets with the help of my co-host, the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, Stuckey. Stuck, what is going on? How you feeling? You're still up 13 on me. So I still got work to do, but how you feeling about week 18?
Good. It's been a good run. Hope to keep it going and hope my Ravens get in the dance because if you're in the dance this year, you can make a run. It's wide open in both conferences. So excited for the playoffs. This card, you have three island games, which are going to have some intrigue. The rest of Sunday is pretty meh. It's going to be a lot of backup quarterbacks, a lot of resting starters. So yeah, I'm ready for playoff football, but where there's a card, there's opportunities to make money. So let's have a week.
Yeah, and of course we have a couple games on Saturday. So those are the two island games you referred to: Bucks, Panthers, and the Niners and Seahawks. That'll be for the number one seed in the NFC. And then Sunday night we have Ravens, Steelers. So think we're gonna end up talking about all those in either the six pack or the total sec. No, there's one game we won't talk about. So we'll talk about that at the end. But for my first pick and the first overall of the week,
Aren't I
18,
first this week? Am I first this week?
Oh, I don't know. I'm listed first in the doc. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Oh
I think I'm
yeah.
first this week.
Yeah. I think we flipped it one time when we drafted from the way we drafted, but yeah.
Okay, so for my uh first pick of the week 18 Sunday six pack, I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals -7.5 at home against the Cleveland Browns. Shout to the Browns for taking care of me last week.
Oh yeah.
Been my most profitable team 2 years in a row. They're not really that difficult to figure out. You bet them at home, where they're 62% against the spread over the past 3 years. One of the best teams in the NFL. And on the road, they are the worst by far. They're 6-18 against the spread over the past 3 years, 25%, failing to cover by nearly a touchdown per game. Their defense, not as good on the road. But why do I like this? Well, for a number of reasons. One, the Bengals offense is rolling. Burrow's going to start. Their offensive line is playing better, like Fairchild, Mims. Then Burrow is going to get his points. The question is, can Cleveland keep up? And I don't think they will be able to for a number of reasons. The Cleveland offense is very bad. Shedeur Sanders is very bad. The focal point of the Browns offense is basically let's see how many times we can get the ball to Harold Fannin. Luckily, he played one quarter last week before he pulled his groin and was able to catch a 50-yard touchdown. I don't think he's playing this week. I don't think Njoku's playing, and I don't see how the Browns will be able to keep up. Where I think that there's some value in this, and there's also some emotional aspect. Like Cleveland, that was like their Super Bowl last week. We know that they've always been bad on the road, but like a little bit of an emotional letdown. Really nothing to play for here. They beat the Steelers. They just want to get the Garrett sack. Once that happens, it's gravy. But the Bengals defense, I think, is underrated right now. Over the first 10 weeks of the season, they were historically bad. Like one of the worst defenses of all time. If you just look at, like, for example, look at DVOA. But since week 11, they've been significantly better. For example, they're third in rush success rate. Why? Is it a random sample or is there something to it? I think there's something to it for a myriad of reasons. One, you have a new coordinator, Al Golden. It's going to take some time. He's figured some things out schematically. They changed, so that makes sense. You also have two rookie starting linebackers who were as bad as I've ever seen linebackers over the first 10 weeks. They're starting to play better. Still not great, but playing better. One of the tweaks that Golden made is he changed their alignments up front. Slayton is really thriving, especially against the run. They're getting something from Murphy. And then one of the biggest things that happened is, and I mentioned him like a month ago on this podcast, um, is they a guy who's been on their like practice squad for years took over in the slot, Jalen Davis, And what that enabled is Dax Hill to kick out outside. Since he's done that, he's been one of the best corners in the league. And DJ Turner has been one of the better corners in the league all season. So now they have two really good corners on the outside. Your rookie linebackers are playing better. Your defensive line is playing better with the new alignments. And then just Golden has a better idea of who this personnel is, and they're playing much better. And it's not like they've played clowns. They played the Ravens twice. They played the Bills. They played the Pats, the Dolphins, who are a really good run game, and the Cardinals, whose offense has been good. And they were really good in a lot of those games. Even against the Bills in a snow game against Allen, like that, they were holding them way under expectation until Barrow threw the pick six and threw another pick. And their third in success rate. A lot of those teams are some of the best rushing offenses in the NFL. So I think this Bengals defense is underrated right now. And I just don't think that Cleveland can keep up with Burrow and company. So give me the Bengals at home laying 7.5.
Yeah, I think I agree with this. I mean, it's Burrow has had struggles with that Cleveland defense in the past, but most of those have been in Cleveland. And we were on the Bengals, I think. I mean, on the Browns earlier this year when they did it in Cleveland. But as you point out, their defense just for some reason falls off a cliff on the road. And then this whole Garrett thing too is like the Steelers were saying they were more focused on that last week. So
that won't be the case with Burrow. He won't care if he has to give it up a sack. He's probably going to get the record this week. Schweschinger also got banged up. He couldn't really move. I think he's going to play, but he looked like a shell of himself in the second half of that game. So yeah, I just don't think the Browns can keep up here. And Shador's probably going to turn it over a couple times, and then it's lights out. And the Browns can't play from behind. So if they get behind here, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, they can't. Shador Sanders has actually looked at times better than I expect, but that's just there's such a low bar there. I mean, it's with
Fannin and Njoku. Like a lot of all he's throwing mostly like everything is like underneath, quick throws. He'll take an occasional shot. But if you don't have Fannin and Njoku now, it's bleak.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm with you on this one. All right. For my first pick, the second overall, the week 18 6-pack, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2.5 at home against the Carolina Panthers. And this is disgusting. The Bucs have played terribly over the past 2 months. But if you look at their offense, the big loss right now is Tristan Wirfs. But he's questionable. I don't know if he's going to play. But they've been without so many more guys than this for the entire year. They're still better than Carolina and DVOA. And this is a revenge game now. It's the second division game. It's at home. What will probably happen is the Bucs will probably win this game, and then
the Falcons are going to win.
And the Panthers are getting
in. That's definitely
it'll be something ridiculous like that. But the thing about the Bucs is they are a veteran team that has just been going to the postseason pretty much since the Brady years. They've always been solid. I just think part of it has to be the human element. I don't think they were super motivated these last couple months because every year they win the division with some kind of record like this, essentially, like 8-9, 9-8. So I think that the Bucs, I know they've been underperforming. Some of it to me is just inexplicable. Like maybe Mayfield's hurt, but they're still just underperforming expectation. Especially given the fact that Godwin's back in the lineup, Evans is back in the lineup, McMillan's back in the lineup. Abuka has just been dropping balls, and they've just been off ever since like guys came back, which is it's just all inexplicable. But what I'm trying to say is I think the Bucs are underrated. I think they've been just playing worse than expectation. And the Panthers, they've been running hot. It was on the wrong side of them last week, but I thought they did what they needed to do in the first half defensively. That's slowing down Darnold and that Seahawks offense, but it just could not put points on the board. They haven't been as good on the road for all those wins as underdogs and all those.
Bryce Young on the road.
They were just 4-4 against the spread on the road. So this has just been a different team. The Bucs, it's ugly, but I can't get to Carolina anything less. Like I make this 3.5. I can't get inside the field goal here. I did take the money line. If you can get a cheap money line, it's probably going to come down to the wire. NFC South games tend to do that, but I just think the Bucks have been underperforming for so long now that we're getting them inside of a field goal against a team that they are better than on paper. And I think, especially given the home road. So give me Tampa Bay -2.5 at home against Carolina on Saturday. First game of the week.
I can't believe that you took the Bucks. I was deciding between the Bengals and the Bucks for my first. Those are my two favorite sides of the week. And then you took the Bucks. That was going to be my second pick. On a tough week, there's a lot of these games that are just unbettable right now, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I mean, I've been the lead singer of the band that's been yelling that the Bucks stink for 2 months. They were a complete fraud early with like fluky late last second wins. And it's not a good team. They're not a good team. I have not bet them one time this year. This will be the first time I'm betting them. And it's when it came down to 2.5. At 3, I would have passed. Even 3.5, I might have considered a small bet on Carolina. But under 3, I have to bet. This is big. This is the bottom of the market. I mean, they haven't covered in 8. They've 0-8 against the spread in their past 8 games. 0-8. This is the bottom. Two weeks ago, Tampa was favored by 3 in Carolina.
Yeah,
On the road. Now it's a cheaper number at home. Under 3, under the key of 3. That's the 3 is king. I have to bet this, even though the Bucks stink. Baker is probably playing hurt. He's a limited participant. He'll play. I think Wirfs actually is going to try to give it a go. They have some other injuries, but the Panthers don't get pressure on defense, so the offensive line injuries aren't as big of a deal here. And in that game, I mean, it was a coin flip game that they lost to Carolina, and there was a coverage bust at the end of the first half, and Carolina scored a touchdown with 20 seconds to go when Dean ran the wrong coverage. But at 2.5, you got to buy low on the Bucks here, as sad as it is. And the NFL scriptwriters, they've been on fire. Last week, you had the Ravens win, the Steelers lose, the Falcons beat the Rams, the 49ers beat the Bears. Everything that had to happen to set up the drama. Well, look at this Sunday slate in the afternoon. It's bad. The NFC South is coming down to Falcons, Saints, who might be the 2 best teams in the division right now. And they're not going to play. It's ridiculous that we're not going to win Falcons to win the division. And then they're going to finish a tie for first because of all the ridiculous games that they lost. But I'm with you on the Bucks. All right, for my second pick and the third overall, the Week 18 Sunday 6-pack, I am going with the. This is ugly. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings -6 at home against the Green Bay Packers. This is something. But, I mean, I'm not going to get into, here, I'll just make this simple and quick. The Packers don't care about this game at all. They're going to field a practice squad. They're already locked into the 7 seed. Last year in this same spot, they played, and Love got banged up, and Watson tore his ACL. Anyone worth anything is not sniffing the field. They're going to this is a walkthrough. Just going to hand the ball off. They're not game planning for this game. They're not game planning for the Vikings. Clayton Tune, maybe it's Malik Willis, but I think it's going to be Clayton Tune. Have they said that in the last hour?
No, I think so too, though, because that's the only way I would get to this line. Like, Malik Willis has been surprisingly efficient with the Packers anyway. But I think it's going to be Tune.
But I even think if it's Malik Willis, like if it was Malik Willis, they're just going to hand it off. Like, why are you going to run any offense? But I think it's going to be Clayton Tune. Clayton Tune with no weapons, probably some offensive line injuries against a Brian Flores defense. No, they're not going to score. How are they going to score? So I don't care if it's Max. There's a chance it's J.J. McCarthy. They want to get another look at him, they said. I don't care if it's Max Brosmer. The Vikings defense will probably score here. If the Vikings get to like 13, they should cover. They'll be able to run the ball. And by the way, the Packers defense has fallen off. They've had injuries since week 11, and that's when they lost Wyatt. They're 26 in EPA per play and 26 in success rate. And a lot of that has to do with losing Parsons, who might be worth, I don't know, 2.5, 3 points of a spread. he's that important, that good, and draws that much attention. But the key guys in the Green Bay's defense, well, they're not going to play either. So Minnesota should be able to run the ball here. And it's just a team that wants to win, close out their season with a win, is still fighting with a really good defense against Clayton Tune, against a team that doesn't care. That's it. Give me the Vikings. Anything under a touchdown, I think, is fine. I think this will be like 20-3.
Yeah, I mean, their defense has also been like pretty much the best in the league over the past 6 weeks or so. Like, just as the Packers defense fell off, the Vikings defense has been unbelievable. I would still worry if it was Willis. Like, if it was Willis, I would want it inside, 6, probably in, closer to that 3 range, just because. Have you seen Malik Willis's numbers with the Packers? I mean, I know they're going to hand it off mostly, but when he
they're
throws,
insane. I think he had leads all passers, like EPA per dropback over the past 2 years.
He doesn't throw incompletions, and every throw he makes is like it ends up gaining like 20 yards. Like, it's just he's completed in 79% of his passes with the Packers, 10.9 yards per attempt, and he's up to like 80 attempts now, which is, it's not much, but it's Malik Willis. It's still ridiculous. So
I wonder where he's going to go next year, which is insane. But I do think it's going to be Tune. If it is Willis, though, like, I don't think they're calling anything. Also, I don't think, like, Jacobs isn't playing, Watson isn't playing, Doubs isn't playing, like even Musgrave isn't playing, Tom isn't playing. Like, they're all these guys aren't going to play. Then on the defensive side of the ball, you can't afford any more injuries. So, like, McKinney's not playing, Evan Williams isn't playing, Walker, Cooper, like, all these guys are probably going to sit. Like, this is going to be a practice squad. So, there is some uncertainty with the quarterback situation. I'll give you that. But even if Willis plays, with what's around him and what I expect in the call, I don't think, like, LaFleur is a really good play caller, a really good game planner, a really good schemer. He's not spending a second on this game plan. There's no like, he's preparing for next week and their opponents next week. There's no, like, they're not showing anything. There's not going to be any receivers playing. It's like, they're going to just, everyone, when they throw, it'll be just like an occasional go route to Matthew Golden probably is going to lead the team in
I mean, that's targets. Not bad. Like, that's not bad with Willis. That's what I'm saying. Like, with Willis and like Golden, Cole Melton, and who would it be? I guess somebody would have to play, like Wicks, I guess, or maybe it could be practice squad guys. But like, it wouldn't be the worst thing with Willis. But I do think it's going to be Tune. I think that's why they put Willis on the injury report and like pulled him late. And then it was like, he was like, yeah, I could have gone back in the game, but he was listed on. He's already listed with the shoulder. So I think they.
Yeah, I'm betting this thinking it's Tune. Yeah. But I don't think it's dead if Willis plays.
It's not dead. Clearly not.
Yeah. But it'll be way much tougher. But like, and then the Packers defense is going to be a shell. Like, so I do think that the Vikings will be able to run the ball to move it.
All right. Before we continue with the Sunday six pack, just a reminder, you can tell some of the bets we discussed in today's show by finding the quick slip link in the podcast and video description. You can also go to actionnetwork.com/bet now to find those quick slips, or even better, sign up for Action Pro. Action Pro users get real-time alerts as soon as experts like Stuckey, Brandon Anderson, and myself track picks in the Action app. You'll also get real-time money percentages to see where the smart money is flowing, and of course, access to our NFL player prop projections powered by Sean Kerner and the predictive analytics team. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro to get started and use promo code POD20 for $20 off an annual subscription. That's POD20 for $20 off an annual subscription. The rest of our Sunday six pack for week 18 is coming up, but first I'll throw it to myself for a quick word from our sponsor. The Action Network podcast has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings' same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. To get started, use promo code Action Network when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code Action Network when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours. All right, for my second pick, the fourth overall of the week 18 six pack, I'm going with the New York Giants plus 4.5 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. And this is just a spot where, I mean, the Giants clearly nothing to play for. They they won that game last week. Raiders play later in the day, so I guess they technically maybe would try to tank, but I don't think they're trying to tank any more than the Cowboys at this point. Their Cowboys are saying, "Hey, we're going to try to finish the season strong." Even if they do, we already know teams that are trying in Week 18 doesn't tend to go well. So I can't get to 4.5 for the Giants at home. I mean, this is a game where in Dallas with a worse quarterback early in the year, and Russell Wilson threw for a zillion yards, and they should have won that game. Ended up losing by 3 in overtime. Now you're at home. The Cowboys, yes, they're saying all the right things. We want to play hard, but I mean, they just released Trevon Diggs. Who knows what Jerry's thinking, and as far as getting the draft pick, because he's already kind of just like worried about his the salary cap. So I mean, they could still be trying to lose this game under the radar. But even if they're not, I just make this about 2.5, 3 for the Cowboys. They're not a good defense. They have no corners. The Giants have been better with Jackson Dart, and I just think this Giants team is, they're consistently kind of been underrated. They keep finding ways to lose games, but the fact that they were trying to, it seemed more like they were trying to tank last week, but the Raiders just completely out tanked them and they won 34-10. This is like a similar kind of defense here, much better offense, but on the road, I could see the Cowboys laying an egg here. As much as they're saying the right things, they got a lot of key guys kind of banged up too. So I don't know if they give it a full go here. The Giants, just by virtue of playing Dart, I think are trying. That's the thing. I go back and forth last week. I tempted to bet them against the Raiders once that Bowers news hit, but you're not sure. But I just don't think they're tanking, given that Dart is still out there. He's still running. So yeah, give me the Giants at home. When you have these Week 18 dogs, that are, so there's we've only had Week 18 for a few years now, but when you have a dog going up against a favorite who's about anywhere from 10% to 33% better in win percentage, essentially, few games, but they're not that much better than the team. The underdog in those situations, 16-4, 80% against the spread. Small sample, obviously, but everything's pointing for me to the G-men here. So give me the Giants one more time, plus 4.5.
Maybe I'll tell you for some action on Sunday if I need it, but I have no thoughts on that game. None. I'm curious to see the Giants offensive line. Like last week, the Raiders were clearly not trying to shut down Crosby. Does that cause more issues this week? I don't know. The Giants, yeah. That numbers wise, I agree with you, but I just don't have any strong thoughts on this game. What a terrible game.
I mean,
all right, for
Overshown and they're all Dallas has no players either. Their defense is already terrible. So yeah.
For my third pick and the 5th overall, the Week 18 Sunday 6-pack, I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons -3 at home against the New Orleans Saints. This is how the Panthers get in the playoffs. This is how the NFC is going to work. NFC South's going to work. Bucks win Saturday, Falcons win Sunday, Panthers 8-9 host a playoff game.
Ridiculous.
And then we probably bet them when the number's too high. That's just the way the world works. So the Falcons, it's we already talked about this. They're a good team. They're just poorly coached and have historically bad special teams, which have cost them 4 games. I mean, they lost to the Pats because of a missed extra point in New England. They lost to the Colts when the Colts were playing well in overtime. They gave up a bunch of big returns in that game. They lost to the Jets, who they dominated statistically because they muffed a punt at their own 2. I mean, they could go on and on. They lost to the Panthers in overtime after blowing a big lead because of a bunch of injuries. This team is just a lot of it is coaching, a lot of it is special teams. But you look around, their defense is really good. They can get pressure. I love their secondary. Their offensive line is really good. Pitts now has emerged with Cousins. Bijan Robinson is arguably the best back in the NFL. Cousins is playing well. And this team has all the incentive to keep winning. They don't have a first-round draft pick. It's gone to the Rams. Cousins is playing potentially for a job. The whole staff is coaching for a job. They're going to try here. Now, the Saints are also going to try. But, look, the Tyler Shuck love, he's playing well. It's gone too far. I mean, he's played this is who the Saints have played since the bye. The Falcons, who they got blown out by at home with Shuck. And that was without Drake London. The Dolphins, who they lost to. And here's who they beat. The Bucks, the free-falling Bucks, the Panthers, the Jets, and the Titans. Like, come on. That is comical. You want to talk about teams that just don't get pass rushes, by the way? Bad defenses. All teams, they haven't played a team that's gone to like Carolina or Tampa. Whoever wins that is going to the playoffs. Oh, they're not really a playoff caliber team. Shuck really hasn't faced a playoff caliber team. So let's cool it. And then you look like the Falcons secondary is good, and there's one receiver you got to cover now on the Saints. That's it. Cover Olave. Like you're worried about Kevin Austin. Who else is out there? But Mason Tipton. Nah, come on.
Maybe.
There's offensive line injuries. No. Bijan is going to get fed here, which I like. They're not like this is just the last game of the year. You don't have to worry about splitting, and they want to go for the scrimmage yard record. Bijan's going off. Give me the Falcons -3. NFC South science. This is how the Panthers get in.
Just disgusting. It's gonna happen. Yeah, the Saints have been looking a lot better, but I don't think they're gonna play. Like they're gonna hold out anyone who's even, and they have a lot of guys on the injury report and a lot of guys that already went to IR. So it's not even like your full strength, Saint squad. It's like a half practice squad, but with a better quarterback than most of the year Saint squad, which it's not scary at all. For my third pick and the sixth overall of the Week 18 six-pack, I am going with the Miami Dolphins +10.5 at the New England Patriots. And this is just one of these Week 18 spots where, one team has nothing to play for, completely eliminated, and the other team still has something to play for, but gets a little murky with the Patriots. I mean, their chances of moving up to the number one seed are maybe like 15, 20%. They won't know, but they do know that the Chargers are resting people against the Broncos. Thought about going to Chargers too, but I just don't know, as we record this, I don't know exactly how many people they're resting.
Yeah.
And that's really my issue because I think the Chargers can cover the number 12.5 with Trey Lance. I mean, the Broncos, look at them last week against
the Broncos don't blow out anybody.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
if the Chargers sit like all their defenders,
yeah,
and then
that's the thing.
Like if they sit like offensive linemen to that already, and then all their weapons, like
now you have a terrible quarter, like a quarterback who's looked bad at times. Again, with no supporting cast, that worries me because the Broncos did what did they roll the Chiefs 38-0, I think it was last year in this kind of spot. So it's like that. This is why I'm going with the Dolphins because I think that if the Chargers do sit a lot of guys, which I think they are leaning in that direction. They're just concerned with the playoffs at this point, especially after what happened last year. They just got rolled. They're not going to take any chances with how banged up Herbert has been. I don't think so. And they don't really have even if they play this offensive line is pretty bad. It's all been Herbert digging them out of holes. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins here because the Patriots.
Yeah, if the Chargers getting blown out.
Yeah,
then the Patriots are going to pull starters. Also, I think the Patriots will try to start, but they can probably still win this game with a half squad. And they know that their chances are lower. So what that means is anyone who's injured, and they have a lot of injuries, isn't playing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's kind of my angle with the Dolphins. Yes, they're 10.5 against 12.5 for the Chargers, but Patriots just super banged up. Now they played the Jets last week, which is going to kind of inflate. Yes, the Patriots are really good, but the Patriots have still been kind of running a little bit hot all year.
They play backup quarterbacks every single week.
And they're playing another one, but this one actually might be better than the starter. So it's not a super big downgrade. Statistically, they're about the same. But eye test wise, Ewers goes downfield more. There's less tape on him. Guys are still playing hard. Just got some young guys kind of playing for Miami that weren't playing the whole year, so they're still trying. And this Patriot team, I think what could happen is coming off that Jet game where they played a backup quarterback, everything was super easy, even with the backup squad. They could take this one a little more little more for granted, and you can see them ease up, especially because they know there's a very small chance the Broncos lose to the Chargers with Trey Lance starting for LA. So yeah, I think second half you could even if the Patriots build a big lead, you can start to get away from them. I also think the market is never going to be higher on the Patriots. They just destroyed the Jets with they had like half an offense there playing, and the Jets, just nothing there. They're clearly tanking with Brady Cook. So it's like now you got a Dolphins team that seems on paper like, okay, well, maybe it's kind of a similar situation, but they've been trying. They look better with Quinn Ewers than they did with Tua. And yeah, I think New England could just end up sitting guys, whether it's the second half or just, being cautious heading into this game. And then I just think the human element also takes over. The fact that they learned so early about this Charger thing, I think could have a negative impact. I know Vrabel has been great, but this is a team that's they're still 17th in DVOA total. Like they're still below average.
They have the easiest schedule of any team over the past 30 years.
Yeah, they're kind of getting penalized for the schedule, I would say, but that's the point. Like, I think a lot of Drake May. I think he's great, but like this is a team it's like they're like in the 15th, I should say, not 17th, 15th, but they're mid-pack in DVOA, total DVOA, and then like the Dolphins are 21st and might be better with Ewers than they've been with Tua. So, and they only got 4 games out of Tyreek Hill, so it's not like he's skewing the metrics like that much. And they, Waller's been good for them. They have something with Dulcich. They might even have something with the kid Theo Wees, taking over that spot for Westbrook Akine, who's giving them absolutely nothing. And then they have speed guys like Waddle, Achane, Malik Washington. So like, if the Patriots just kind of relax in this one, the Dolphins can make some plays. So yeah, give me Miami 10.5. Like this is a number I would make it like 9.5, at full strength. Because again, the Patriots are a little bit luckier than maybe the record would suggest. But now you have that element of the Patriots have something to play for. Technically, the Dolphins don't. So I love Miami here plus 10.5.
I will say the Patriots do have an incentive to win still.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I like that.
No, I'm saying even if the Broncos, just for full transparency, people know, if the Broncos are blowing out the Chargers, the Patriots still want to win because they can drop to the 3 if the Jags win and they lose. So I just wanted to point that out so people know. But yeah, I think it's the right side.
Yeah, I think the Jags are going to win, but I just think the Patriots, like, they got to be cautious here. They showed they were going to be cautious last week. So I just think the Dolphins are on a different plane than the Jets. Is really what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. We got.
I got Burrow,
Burrow,
Cousins, and a mystery box.
Yeah, probably Max Brosmer, and then I got Baker Mayfield, which is actually not a good thing. Jackson Dart and Ewers, which I had some promising young quarterbacks.
How's Baker the worst quarterback of that group?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe
28 DPA per play since week 7.
It makes no sense because the last couple of weeks, it's been better, but you still feel like something's off.
Those picks were bad last week.
Yeah, it's like he still thinks. Really, we know what it is. It's the Liam Cohen effect.
Liam Cohen, yeah. And Ben Johnson for the Lions. Those are the two teams that we loved in the offseason. And the two teams we wanted, you could say it.
Yeah, it's the coach. Not coaching. Just and we'll get out of here and get to the totals and all that. But I do want to say this playoff race, like this, once it starts, is going to be really good because I think yes, you have some of the heavyweights that are normally in there, may not be there. Chiefs, obviously, maybe the Ravens, but I think coaching is going to play such a major factor because it's so wide open, and you have like some new teams with new coaches that I think propelled them like high up in the race. You have a team like the Niners, great, well-coached team, finally, healthy enough to play for the 1 seed. Seahawks, very well coached. Vrabel with New England, Sean Payton, Liam Cohen, like just so many coaches. So I think it's going to be fascinating. Johnson did, yeah. These teams are all like up there too. Like they have some of the best. And then like McVay's team is the team that's like
McDonald, LaFleur.
Yeah. It's like all good coaches pretty much up. And then there'll probably be like even Canales. We liked him in Tampa too. Clearly they missed him.
I like Canales, yeah.
Yeah. So so just fascinating. Evero, like him. So yeah, just good, well coached teams. I think that could play a role in a postseason like this. But that's our Sunday 6-pack. Again, if you'd like to tail some of the picks, look for the quick slip link in the pod and video description. Make sure to sign up for Action Pro for instant notifications when all of our bets are tracked. Now it's time for our favorite totals of week 18. All right, now it's time for our favorite totals of week 18. Stuckey started us off on the 6-pack, so I'll go first here. I'm going Ravens Steelers under 41.5. Definitely try to get to 41. It's probably gonna dip knowing this because I think we're recording this early in the week. I think there's a decent chance we don't see Lamar Jackson. If we do, clearly not. He's clearly not at full strength. Yeah. And then the Steelers are their offense is just a shell of itself without DK Metcalf. And they also lost.
They have no one who can get open, and then you don't have to pay any attention. There's no gravity of DK. You just man up all these guys who can't get open.
And it was Washington, who was the other guy against man. He was just so big and faster than he should be at whatever, 300 plus that he is, that he was actually decent for them against man coverage teams. And, it looked like he was going to be involved in that game against Cleveland, and then he goes down. So I don't know what the Steelers are going to do offensively. And it's a division game. This is it. There's no other way to get in. So you could see some tightness. You could see some field goals. The Ravens have been they've kind of paid the price sometimes for being too aggressive. Who knows what they do here? Maybe they go a little more cautious, especially if it's Huntley. But yeah, I just think you're going to see a cautious game. And then you have the weather is trending toward it's going to be probably freezing. I don't think there's going to be any snow. Let's see there, maybe a 10% chance, but it's freezing temps, and historically totals in freezing or below temps, just under 60%, 77 and 54 over the past decade. So I just think, even if you get Lamar, I think the Ravens are going to run the ball with Derrick Henry. And I don't know if the Steelers are going to score much, but it's the Steelers. So you might get some Tomlin voodoo to keep the score down too. Hearing Watt might be able to make his return. That would obviously be huge. But I just don't think the Ravens are going to try to take any chances here. Especially with just how, the fact that they are even in this spot is pretty nuts. I mean, the Steelers had to lose to the lowly Browns, and they scored 6 points. So I just don't think you see much risk taking. That's what we've seen at times out of both of these coaches. More so Tomlin, I should say. The Ravens, I think they might dial it back. And then, just cold weather game. Rodgers, no downfield threats. And the Ravens just always underperforming expectation offensively. I mean, you can just count on the Ravens, Zay Flowers, fumbling a ball in the red zone, something stupid, or them giving Zay Flowers
Andrews
end arounds. Yeah. Or just Andrews will drop. Isaiah likely will just not get targeted. It would just be weird. So we've seen this over and over again. These games tend to come down to field goals, and they tend to go under. So yeah, give me Steelers Ravens under 41.5.
Yeah, Ravens 20-17. So I think it ends. I want Huntley to get announced in because I don't think Lamar's going to be 100%, and then this line to come down below 3. Then I might look at the Ravens, but I agree on the under. There's also some upside Calvin Austin. Maybe you get him back. He has a speed element, but because the Steelers hit some explosive plays in Baltimore. Because the one thing that does worry me, that the Ravens don't get any pressure at all. But they were hitting the explosive plays because of DK Metcalf. This offense without him, and now Washington is a shell of itself. Also, the Steelers defense has some. It looks like they're going to be healthy this week. James Pierre has been really good for them. I think will come back. Eccles, and then Watt has a chance as well. So their defense could be much healthier this week. I think both teams, it's field position, run the ball. I think the Ravens are going to feed Henry here. And the thing is, if the Ravens get in, they could win the AFC. That's how wide open it is. I mean, you're going to host a playoff game, and then who do you got in front of you? The Bills, the Bills of Josh Allen, the Jags are playing is better than anyone in the AFC. One of those teams knocks each other out on the first weekend.
Yeah.
There's a chance, by the way, Baltimore could host it. With how wide open, you could be hosting the Bills in the AFC Championship game. But you got Bo Nix, the Pats ahead of do you think that this isn't the last couple years? We got to go through Josh Allen and Mahomes, and so
and one thing that's been underrated with the Ravens, I mean, it's a small sample, so you never know for sure. It could just be noise, but their second time playing a division opponent their defensive game plans I thought have been really good. So they played the Browns early in the year. It was like 41-17. The Browns were close early on, but they gave up 322 yards to the Browns in that game. And then in the rematch, it was a lot closer because the Ravens were just kind of doing stupid stuff. But they allowed under 200 yards to the Browns. And then the Bengals, of course, go 32-14 in the first one, and then they shut them out 2 weeks later. So, first game against the Steelers was 27-22 Steelers. I thought the Steelers got a little lucky in that one. So yeah, I'm with you on the Ravens.
And historically, that's been the case. Second division meeting, those games tend to trend under between teams. But for my favorite total, I'm going to go with, there's a 50 out here now. Doesn't matter for the contest, so we'll call it 49.5. Seahawks, 49ers, under 49.5. Just think this is too high. I get it. It's scary because the 49ers defense is horrendous. It's really, really bad. They can't get any pressure. Michael Parsons was tweeting about this the other day. Like, you can't get pressure. Good luck. And the 49ers are incapable of generating a pass rush or getting a sack or generating a turnover. But the Seattle offense, I just think this number is too high. I mean, there's a lot on the line here. The winner gets the 1 seed. The loser, if the 49ers lose, like the 49ers win, they keep winning. They don't have to leave home for 2 months and then they can win the Super Bowl.
At home.
At home. Well, all at home.
Yeah.
I'm like they're all the way through the Super Bowl.
Nuts.
But if they lose on Saturday, then the Rams are going to play their starters to get the 5 seed. And then you're going to be the 6 going to Philly, most likely, or maybe Chicago. So that's a huge difference. Now, Seattle, at least, if they lose, they're locked into the 5, so they'll go to the NFC South winner. But the 49ers could go from the 1 to the 6. But divisional games, second time around, a lot of familiarity, a lot on the line. Could see these teams being a little tight early. But I just think this number is too high. The Seahawks offense is broken.
First half, especially.
What's that?
In the first half, especially. Like it's been like just first, like they haven't scored in the first half, essentially, like all like the last like 6 weeks. It's been like just you get nothing out of them early in the game.
I mean, since week 9, they're 21st in EPA per play. And they just played a defense that can't get pressure and couldn't do anything against the Panthers. Like the Panthers and Niners are very similar defenses. And then look, the Niners offense has looked amazing and Purdy has played amazing. But one, Kittle might not be fully healthy. You also have Trent Williams, who I don't think is going to play. You can get away with that against the Bears, but Seattle is one of the best defenses in the NFL. And the 49ers, yes, they've been amazing. But this is who the run has come against. They destroyed the Cardinals, who have like a practice squad defense. Everyone is destroying the Cardinals every week because of all their injuries. They put up 20 on Carolina. Brock Purdy threw 3 picks. They scored 20 points. They averaged 3.5 yards per play against the Browns. So they did nothing in those games. So this is what all the numbers and explosions have come against the Cardinals practice squad, the Titans, the Colts without their corners, and then the Bears defense, which is abysmal. Those are bad, bad, bad defenses. Big step up in class now. Will not be as easy. Give me the under 49.5. Seattle, San Fran.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you'd be worried about here is like 49er turnovers, and then like they're playing from behind, so then the Seahawks have to kind of step it up, and like they're throwing the ball all around, but because the Niners have been super turnover prone, but I think the Seahawks
Purdy turnovers could be problematic here. You just got to hope that they're on the right side of the field.
But yeah, I agree on the Seahawks offense is
it's pretty much solved because like everyone was like they were going heavy and then like they was using the run to set up play action, but they can't run it efficiently. So now teams are just saying, okay, run it, and we're not going to bite on your play action, and we're just going to make sure that JSN doesn't beat us deep, and then eventually we'll get the Darnold who will make a mistake or get sacked. It's the offense is bad right now.
Yeah, and we saw this last year where teams, Sam Darnold offense can be super efficient, can be holding down like that, one of the top spots in this conference the whole year, and then just kind of start to crater. And for the Seahawks, the difference with them, I mean, their defense has just kind of kept them in games and everything. But this Niner offense. I mean, it's going to be a test. So I'd lean Niners too, honestly. But yeah, I think the under is the right side, and I'd probably look at the first half under as well, because that's really when the Seahawks, they just haven't been able to come out hot. And I know the narrative is going to be, oh, well, like they'll turn it around or something, but I don't know.
I think it's been solved. Yeah, I think their offense is Cross playing. That's hurt too. Their left tackle. So
yeah, because I don't think the backs have been even that bad. Honestly, I think it's more they're just kind of getting by with the offensive line that it's not great, especially when not at full strength.
Yeah.
All right. So
Shaheed got banged up too. Horton's on IR. So like the weapons, it's just like focus on JSN. And that the 49ers are just going to say, we want to take away explosives and make you work down the field.
And their play action game now they're not able to play as much heavy, 2-1, what you call it, 1-2 personnel, and they play 2-1 as well. But the 1-2, because Arroyo, their second tight end, who's like kind of the more explosive one, like Barner's been good, but he's more of like the underneath guy. Yeah, so they haven't been able to do that as much, which kind of hurts their play action game. And with Shaheed and Horton, you're looking at Cooper Kupp just has to play a big role. So yeah, I think this is the right side, especially in the first half. All right. Money line, underdog, parlay time. All right, Stuck, you've been hot. You hit another one last week with the Dolphins, right? 14, 15-2 now?
15-2, going for 16-2. Let's go with the Las Vegas Raiders. So, first of all, this line is insane. The Chiefs were just 2 touchdown underdogs at home with Aludicon to the Broncos. By the way, the Broncos didn't even cover in Vegas when they were laying 7.5 in like a couple weeks ago. Now Aludicon is laying 6 on the road. That is mind-blowing. Now, I get there's no Bowers, which is big. I get there's no Crosby. I get that they've been tanking. They want to lose. But there are multiple paths where the Raiders already have the 1 seed locked up.
Yeah.
By kick. Number one, the Giants could win. That'll seal it. The Falcons win last night, eliminated the Jets. Just between the Giants and the Raiders. Now, if the Giants lose and the Raiders win, it comes down to strength of victory. There's 5 games that matter. Those games could have flipped Las Vegas's way by then as well. So there's multiple paths where the Raiders will already have the number 1 pick locked up. Also, the Chiefs, do you think they want to win this game? No. But they want a better draft pick. They don't want the Raiders to get the 1. I assume the Chiefs are going to shut down all their vets. Like, why are you... Chris Jones isn't going to play here. Like, you think Worthy's going to play? Like, they're not playing anybody. It's a third-string quarterback. The Chiefs had 130 yards, averaged 3 yards per play last week. So, this number is just too high, so I have to take the price. The players on the field are still going to try. And I don't even know who's going to be on the field for the Chiefs. I don't know who's going to be on the field for the Raiders. They might shut down Genty, too. Who knows? I don't know, but this can't be 6. Give me the Raiders on the money line.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking this on the spread.
Same.
Right. It's just, what is the floor of this Raider team? Like, we know what the floor of the Chiefs team is. It's like they can probably score 10 to 13 points. But the Raiders, what is really going on? Because they did put up 3 first downs earlier in the year in a game. I think, what did Pickett throw? Pickett was essentially as bad as Owodokin, Udacon, in his start. So it's like, how low can the Raiders go? I mean, they just got blown out by the Giants, who are probably trying to tank that game too. But yeah,
how about the Raiders dominating the Texans 2 weeks ago? What a crazy!
I know, it's like
the Raiders. They dominated New England in New England and dominated Houston in Houston.
And then immediately after that game, they put Bowers on IR. Like, and then I saw that, I was like,
kick Crosby out. I knew my bet was toast. Yeah. I got out some live. I was so mad. Like, Crosby, unbelievable.
He stormed out. I was like, yeah, that's what I would have done. I would have stormed out of that bet if I could too. Because, like, bro, that was just the minute you would get that notification, you're like, I knew what's going on here. Like, they just were like, nah, we can't have this again. We played way too well. against the team that what I think the Texans are up to eight in a row now. Like, yeah, you can see what's going on here. But I agree. I think the Chiefs. One thing I think is interesting, because I was kind of looking up. They have Marquise Brown has some contract incentives, and because I was like, all right, are they going to kind of let him go? And Hunt has some too, and they've been kind of decreasing their snaps. And then I look last year, Hopkins needed it was in that meaningless game, but it was Hopkins, and he needed something for to hit an incentive, and they just held him out. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're if they're not if they're not even doing it when they're winning and they're 15-2. And now I don't think they're going to try to play. I think they're going to hold guys out. So
yeah, I think they're going to sit a bunch of guys. This game is arguably the worst. Might be the worst game in NFL history.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because they were calling that the toilet bowl last week, and you had
this is going to be worse, I think.
Oh, the quarterback. We had Jackson Dart last week. There's nobody this week. Unless we get, I mean, I guess Clayton Tune versus Brosmer it's up there too. But yeah, it's going to be some bad games. There's going to be some bad games, especially if teams start, the teams that are favored start pulling out their starters in the second half. I mean, whoo. But so you parlay, I didn't even get to my. Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of, I'm like, yo, I'm just excited about this.
You parlay the Raiders and the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you've been hot. Might as well, right? Take them on the spread. Take them on the money line. Take Oluokun unders. Take just Marquise Brown unders. Kareem Hunt unders. But I'm gonna go to the Detroit Lions plus 135. I know it's outdoor golf. I know they've looked terrible, but the Vikings, one of the best defenses in the league over the past 6 weeks. And Detroit just strikes me as one of those teams. I know they didn't show up last week. This is a team that I think would show up once it's too late, because number one, it's Ben Johnson on the other side. Number two, the Bears are in that kind of weird middle ground where they can kind of improve their seeding, but it's not a high likelihood. And I think they're going to play guys, but they have a lot of guys.
They're in the 2. They can maintain the 2.
Yeah.
By winning or having the Eagles lose. I think that's important to them. I don't know. We don't have any data on Ben Johnson. He might value health more because they do have injuries. Because I do think the 2 is important. The 2 could mean you host the NFC Championship. The 2 means you avoid the Rams. Then you get the Packers. So, but what's surprising is the Eagles have the chance to jump up to the 2. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they're going to rest starters.
Yeah. So that's what's interesting about this one is that either way you get this angle of, all right, you either get a team the Lions are eliminated. They have nothing to play for. I think they're going to actually enjoy playing spoiler, especially after they got embarrassed last week by Brosmer. Now it's another chance to kind of spoil a little bit. And then, like I said, yeah, the Bears are just in a middle ground where you have the Eagles potentially resting guys. You have them, Burden's popped up with an injury. He got a quad. I don't think Adunze is going to go. They said he might be back sometime this season. That didn't sound promising. He hasn't been good over the past 2 months. DJ Moore is going to be a lot easier to cover if anyone's banged up. And this Lion team, I still think offensively, I know it's going to be outdoors and it's going to be Goff and it's all that, but I mean,
but it's an Amon-Ra probably not going to go. That's what worries me.
Yeah, it seems like Amon-Ra might be the guy that's not going to go. But I mean, he also went as a doubtful guy. So
I know he's the type that would play, but I don't know if you're the Lions, I would not play him. But he's the type that would play.
But you still would have Khalif Raymond has some contract incentives. He's still for a fourth receiver because you would have to slaw essentially Raymond and JMO. That's still a pretty good receiving core. You still have, I think Gibbs would still play. There's no reason to hold out guys for the Lions, but there's reason to hold out guys for the Bears. So that's why I'm going money line here. A lot of uncertainty, but Lions did pace them 52-21. And the Lions are notoriously a physical team. They haven't been as physical this year. Some of that is due to injuries, but I could see them getting up for this game, and Ben Johnson might just have to kind of play it smart. So it's not dead. I mean, even if the Bears are going full out and the Lions are going a little,
the Bears defense is so bad. Every one of their games is comes down to the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, they just gave up 42 to Niners team without Kittle. So yeah, give me Detroit plus 135. But I do like that Raiders play. Might have to join you there. Might go spread, might go money line, might go both. I don't know, but yeah, it's insane. You parlay Lions and Raiders together. plus 664 odds. That is our money line underdog parlay for week 18. Now it's time for our anytime touchdown parlay presented by DraftKings. All right. Anytime touchdowns. This is like the
I
opposite of the
can't
money
get one. I'm
lines.
so cursed in this. I had Warren to finish our parlay last week, and Mo Alley Cox scores.
Ugh, ridiculous. All right. I'm gonna go with the chalky guy. So hopefully I can keep the streak going, and then I like your guy, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry. I know I like the under in that game. Part of the reason is I think the Ravens are gonna have to lean on the run regardless, even if it's Lamar. I just don't think he's healthy. I don't think they're gonna push it. Henry has been, they tried to go away from him at times this year, and they've just been better on offense with him in there. But that's gonna still kill clock. It's still the Steelers. You'll probably get a lot of guys back. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game, but a Henry game. I think if they get in the red zone, they can't really take any chances with.
Yeah, this is their season. If they don't win, you're out. So that's just like they did last week. If they lost, they were out. They fed them 36 carries.
Right. So it's like you in the red
extra
zone.
rest now too for him, which is good.
You've been so bad in the red zone that I think Henry's going to get the first, second, third crack at this. Give me Henry minus 145. That's a little chalky. You could go for him 2+. I don't know if it's gonna be a high scoring game for that, but who do you like?
Tommy Tremble. I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I came up with this, but I'm saying it because we each need the one. So I will let you give the reasoning.
So it's probably just an emotional hedge because I'm on the Bucks, but they've been bad. They were the team that gave up the 3 touchdowns. Like the Bucks are the team that let Kyle Pitts emerge as a touchdown scorer. Like this guy scored like 2 career touchdowns coming into this Bucks game and just lights him up for 3. So you had Jatavian Sanders, who'd been playing a little bit more. Yeah, he's out. He's done. He's done for the year. I think he had surgery, so he's gone. So it's going to be Tremble and Mitch Evans, the rookie, and James Mitchell, who's been a healthy scratch. Tremble has usually been that guy, and he's in the last game he played 22 pass snaps to Mitch Evans 11. So I think Tremble gets up to at least Sanders' snap count, which is like in the 60% range. But there's a chance Tremble gets just like just every down player because he's been there for a while now. He knows the offense. Evans a rookie. So I think Tremble's in a good spot because it's Bucks defense. I mean, you still got to focus on McMillan and Coker, I think, before you focus on the backup tight end. So in the red zone, if the Panthers can score here, which again, emotional hedge, I hope they don't, but I think Tremble has a good shot.
Which means Mitchell Evans is a lock to score.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's always the other tight end. But I mean, he's honestly not a bad call either, but his snaps counts are just
he hit for one. I had Evans to score a touchdown I don't know if it was last year. No, it had to be this year.
Yeah, it had to be this year.
Why did I bet Evans to score a touchdown? Didn't he score a touchdown already this year? Oh no, that was just to win a bet. That was when they came back to beat the Dolphins and he scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah. I think I was on there too. Yeah. You could go with the Evans. We should have just gone with the Evans parlay actually, Mike and Mitch. But no, we'll keep with this. We'll keep your Ravens. We got some Ravens love for you, and then the first game of the week, people can sweat out a Tommy Tremble touchdown. What's more exciting than that? So you parlay those together. You get Derrick Henry at minus 145, Tommy Tremble at 5-1. You get just over 9-1 odds at DraftKings plus 913. That's our anytime touchdown parlay for week 18, presented by DraftKings. All right, any games that we didn't touch on?
All right, let's go through them. A lot of these are going to be disgusting. Eagles, 3 seed. They can move up to the 2 if they win, and the Bears lose. So maybe there's some scoreboard watching, but it sounds like they're going to sit starters. What does that mean? We don't know. Who does that? There's just too much uncertainty. It looks like Johnson's going to go.
Yeah, it's going to be Johnson for the Commanders. They're saying Mariota is like he's not ready.
Lean under, but what if it's Tanner McKee and then like the Eagles open up their offense?
I was thinking, I think the Eagles might be the side.
I know,
like regardless, because it's like
no, I think if the Eagles, if they announce like it's McKee and there's other guys out and the line comes down more, then you bet the Eagles.
Yeah, because it's like outside of it, when it's like a game with all this uncertainty, you're kind of just picking a winner, and a winner technically is going to win like more times than not by a bigger number. It's not always going to, like the Bucks and the Panthers I don't trust, but like a game like this, if the Eagles win, I don't know if there's a difference between like the 6 and the 7. Like, they'll probably blow them out because Tanner McKee will probably be that good, and you're going against Johnson or maybe even Hartman. I mean, who knows? Or Driscoll. Like it could be Driscoll. So yeah,
It'll be
could be
very Eagles to have their offense like go off with McKee before the playoffs after all the commentary around Hurts and getting no yards in another second half. Like
This is
McKee,
terrible though. This is terrible. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this is terrible for like we tried to fade the Eagles, and it's like it's not like there. This is like just a terrible scenario if you're like you hate like repeat kind of because like I love the fact that it's so wide open, but like I could see a very clear path for the Eagles to just like win the NFC, and then they're playing like a like a subpar AFC opponent, and they just roll to like another Super Bowl after all this. So that's what
I'm hoping that Seahawks beat the Niners. I mean, Niners beat the Seahawks. Rams in the 6. I think the Rams take out Philly and Philly.
The Rams can't take out anyone right now. It seems like they're not even taking out their starters. It's what McVay's saying. But yeah,
no, but I think the Rams beat the Eagles.
I would have said that maybe a month ago, but I don't know. Was the Rams just were they just running hot on you? I don't know.
The Eagles can't score. How many lucky wins are they going to have because of blocked kicks and blocked extra points? They just run hitch routes and then go 3 quarters without scoring. What did they get outgained by 250 yards last week? They averaged 3.2 yards per play against a horrendous Bills defense.
But what did the Bills score? 12 points.
Because they had that fluke fumble. They had a missed extra point, a wide open 2-point conversion that Josh Allen can't hit all of a sudden. Ridiculous. Anyway,
yeah. Okay.
So there's still uncertainty there. Chargers, Broncos, we mentioned that, but we don't know who's going to be out.
I'd lean Chargers just because the Broncos haven't been really covering these type of numbers against. I mean, they didn't cover this against the Chiefs. They didn't cover twice against the Raiders. You got to lean Chargers, but we'll see how many guys they rest because you could just get more value as more guys get kind of announced out. The line would have to probably go up, I would think.
Yeah. Mention the Bills. I mean, the Bills, Allen, I think, is going to take one snap to keep the streak going and sit. We don't know who else is going to sit. But, like, the Jets are like a practice squad right now. With their defense, there's no one left. And Cook is, right now, he's statistically the worst quarterback of all time. He has one, like, if you look at, he has one big-time 13 turnover-worthy plays. He has the lowest PFF grade of any quarterback in their database's history. It's disgusting. But I don't know there's just too much uncertainty right now there. I actually probably would still lean Bills.
Yeah, same.
Then you have Rams. So I think Rams is going to come down. I know McVay said he's going to play starters, but Rams is going to come down to Seattle, San Francisco. If Seattle wins, I think the Rams play their starters. If the 49ers win, I think the Rams sit everybody. But the Cardinals, do they have any players left? I don't know.
Trey McBride and Michael Wilson.
Titans, Jags. The numbers, the raw numbers getting a bit rich, but the Jags offense is rolling. They have incentive. They win this, they clinch the division. They do have a chance to get to the 2 seed. And the Titans have no corners left, which is very, very concerning against the Jags. The Jags have some interior offensive line injuries. Maybe it's like Jeffrey Simmons is going to have to wreck the game and cause it, but Titans offense is playing a little better, lean a little over there. The other game, Texans laying 10 against the Colts. I mean, Riley Leonard making his first start against that defense. I don't know who's going to play for the Colts. Texans do have incentive because if the Jags lose, but that's not very likely. So the Texans are likely going to end up as the 5 seed, but they do have incentive to play here. And I mean, Riley Leonard making his first road start against that defense, probably not going to go well. But I think the number is probably about fair. I don't know. I don't have anything on the rest of those games. You got anything?
Yeah, no, I would lean Bills. I'm thinking about that just because I think that number is considering what the Jets did against the Patriots and considering we know, they want to tank. And we've seen this before with the Bills where they still have their aside from receiver,
they'll be able to run the ball on the Jets,
but they'll be able to run. And then Ty Johnson has incentives, so he'll probably play. He's not bad and then it's one of those situations where they don't have good depth at receiver, but because of that, they probably will just play all their receivers just because they're still trying to figure things out. So it's like you're gonna
It
have
doesn't
like
matter if any of them get hurt.
right, exactly. Maybe Shakir sits, but like yeah, you're gonna have like still a professional
And
like skill
Trubisky's
set,
way better than Brady Cook.
way better. So yeah, I'm leaning Bills, and then
And you got like decent
yeah.
tight end depth, so you can throw to their tight ends. Throw to Jackson Halls a bunch. Like Knox will
Knox
probably
has
play.
incentives. He has incentives, so he might play. Yeah,
Knox will play. Maybe Keon Coleman will flash. Maybe
right.
they'll let him get some snaps. Uh, but like the defense has been bad all year, so who cares? But I mean, they'll probably sit like they'll probably sit a couple of their guys. Like Bosa's not playing. Milano, but I mean, there's not one really on this defense. It's that important. Teron Johnson will probably sit Benford, but it's the Jets. This Jets offense, yeah, I mean, they're so bad, and the defense has the go look. Actually, I'll challenge anyone listening to this right now. If you're just like a casual bettor and don't follow like these rosters really like closely, just I want you to right now name three Jets just in your head. Name three Jets who are going to start on their defense this week. I mean, it's like I think Stiggers, who's like he played okay. He's played okay at the time. I think he's out. Like their corners are Jasir Taylor, Keydron Smith, Brandon Stevens. He's been healthy all year and he's terrible. Their safeties are Dean
Dean
Clark.
Clark, yeah,
I think he was at Kent State or at one point in
Fresno. I think
I
he's
think
at
he was
Fresno.
at Kent State before that. He was at Kent State
Okay.
for 4 years and Fresno for two. Um, yeah, Dean Clark and Malachi Moore. Like their linebackers. Their linebackers
Yeah.
have been bad this year, but like Cam Jones is starting. Then like I mean it's bad. Braden McGregor is starting at defensive end. This defense is a joke. Like, and then you have Brady Cook. Brees Hall might not even play this week. So
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. And they're
It's
clearly trying to lose. The only good thing about the Jets is their special teams. Um, if you took the Jet special teams and put them on the Falcons would be 13-4.
yeah. I mean that's like the Falcons. That's what their whole like 'cause they have this weird thing where like they have way too many wide receivers on the roster at all times. Like and they keep game day scratching like two to three of them because they can't play special teams. And so it's like they have like Washington has been a scratch. Hodge has been a scratch, and then he went on IR, and then they get Heath from the Packers, and he's been a scratch, and they're calling up Chris Blair to play wide receiver every week just so they could have Tompkins only play special teams. But they've had Agnew up all year, and then they like. I mean, it's just been
They've had like five kickers.
yeah. I don't know. I wonder if it's you like they're poorly coached. I wonder if it's just more like the GM and the special teams coach because I mean it's still
Well, they
falls on the
fired
head
their
coach,
special
but
teams coach, didn't they? Or no, they haven't yet. They were like,
yeah, I
wait,
mean,
I think he's
did
like,
they?
no, I was thinking of someone else. There was
They should
like,
have.
yeah, there was.
The
He's been
Rams
there.
fired
He's
theirs.
been there
Rams
for like
fired theirs.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. So, all right. Anyway, that'll do it for us.
Yep. That was our week 18 Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. If you want to tail some of the bets, find the quick slip links in the video and podcast description or visit actionnetwork.com/bet now. Be sure to check out Playbook on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. Fantasy Flex for content with Turner and I. We're still doing an episode this week. Stuckey is on BBOC and the favorites. You can find him on X at Stuckey2. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award winning Action Network app. We'll be back next week. Until then, let's get this money.
Let go.